Well, happy Monday, Evangel Church. I hope that your week has begun well. And it was great to be at the church yesterday. I hope that you were able to join us. If you weren't, I would encourage you to go back and look at the message. But we were looking primarily at Psalm 37. So I just want to share a couple verses with you that come out of really the last 2 weeks. I made mention in the service yesterday that these are really kind of core passages for me. These are, in one sense, stones of remembrance. When things become unsure for me, I draw back to these passages to regain a sense of the Lord's presence and where I am. And so I record these in the study after the service, and on the wall behind the camera, which you obviously can't see this, but is Psalm 27 verse 4, and it is if there is a verse that is just my life verse, this is probably it. And it says, "One thing I've asked from the Lord, that I shall seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to meditate in his temple." It's one thing. I get distracted by many things. There are many good things that tend to cause me to lose sight of where I am, so that as I'm on this way, this journey, I wake up some days and I go, how did I get here? How did the burden get so heavy? How did the times become so difficult? And I believe the Lord would call me back to one thing. And in that verse 4 of chapter 27 of Psalm, really are just 4 points. And I made these in the message a week before. And there's priority. We need to set our priority on spending time with the Lord. There is presence. We need to be in the presence of the Lord, aware of his presence. And so as we seek him in the Word, what we're doing is we're seeking an awareness of his presence, and we are indwelled by the Holy Spirit. Yet we need to come into his presence through his written Word that has been miraculously preserved for us. And the one thing that I ask from the Lord that I'm going to seek is that I may set a priority in my life of being in his presence. But there needs to be a persistence. We need to continually strive after that awareness. And then at the end, what we see is that we gain perspective. Verse 4 of Psalm 27 says, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to meditate in his temple. If we would set our efforts at seeing Jesus and meditating in his presence on the truth of his word, it would change things for us. But the verse for this Sunday was Psalm 37, and it's really kind of builds on that, almost a practical outworking of that. So Psalm 37, starting in verse 3, it reads like this: "Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will do it. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your judgment as the noonday." Now, it's really distinct when you look at that passage, that there are things that we're called to do, and then when we do those things, there are things the Lord does. Now, everything is the Lord. Anything that's good in our life, even our own pursuits, are brought about by the Lord. But he calls on us to trust in him, to put our confidence in him, but to cultivate faithfulness, settle down, dwell in the land, and cultivate our relationship with the Lord. I would encourage you, no matter where you are, no matter where you find yourself, that you would take a breath and just say, Lord, allow me to cultivate my relationship with you where I am. It's not going or being somewhere else. I'm here, and I want to be here with you. Let me cultivate my relationship with you. We need to set our affections, our delight on the Lord. And then he gives us the desires of our hearts. We really don't even know what it is that our heart needs. And honestly, there are issues of heart that are deeper than our groanings can even speak. But the Holy Spirit knows our hearts. So if we'll set our affections on him, then he will give us the desires of our heart. And it says, commit your way to the Lord. The picture there is to roll off your burden, roll off the weight of the way onto the Lord, onto Jehovah, the self-existent God. He can carry that burden. You can't. You were never called to. And so we come alongside with him and we roll that burden off to the Lord, and then we trust him, put our confidence in him again, and then he will accomplish his work in us. It says he will do it. What is it? He will accomplish the way that he has for us. So put those two things together, and to me it speaks the need to remember there's one thing that's needful. Mary understood this. Martha was busy doing a bunch of things. Mary understood the one thing needful was worship, to sit at the feet of Jesus. And we need to pursue him with that singular pursuit. And how do we do that? We cultivate faithfulness. We feed on his faithfulness. And I would encourage you this week, read through, again, Psalm 27, which we did last week, but then also Psalm 37, specifically verses 3 through 6. Read the whole chapter. But those few verses there, read it, meditate on it, and ask the Lord to speak to you through them. Well, I hope you have a blessed week. I hope you walk in an awareness of his presence, and that if things have been difficult, the Lord would give you a fresh breath of wind for your sails, and that you would be blessed by that. Well, no, we love you, we miss you, and we will see you again real soon. Have a great week.